Let's bring on board a conglomerate or a man who has taken a pharmaceuticals company to a conglomerate status and expanded the business, and not just pharmaceuticals, but infrastructure or realty as well as financial services. Joining me right now, Ajay Piramal, the chairman at Piramal Enterprises. He joins us in the show. Ajay, good morning. Piramal Enterprises, you know, it's been synonymous with the rise of India. Map out the journey of Piramal Enterprises over the last 5 to 10 years as India has grown leaps and bounds, and so have you.
So I attribute a lot of growth of Piramal Enterprises to what's happening in India. We entered into the pharmaceutical industry in 1988, and since then we have grown significantly on the back of a growing demand in India for pharmaceutical products. And over this period, a business which was just worth $1.5 million in '88, we sold part of it to global multinational Abbott in 2010, and we got $3.8 billion. So therefore, a business which grew by more than 30% over a 21-year period. Nowhere else could this have happened other than in India. And since then, the journey continues. After having exited our domestic branded generics business in India, we entered into new areas. We entered into the financial services space. We've gone into healthcare analytics and data. And this again, I would say, I could attribute to the strength that India has given us. In the financial services space, with the growth in the economy, it says that financial services should grow about twice or 2.5 times of that. And that's the advantage that we've got. Also, India has also given us a good talent of people, and because of this and the capital and the talent, we've been able to grow now globally. We've been able to manufacture products here, sell them globally. We've been able, and this is across various different industries.
Right. Ajay, within the specific sectors that you operate in, pharmaceuticals, infrastructure and financials, how do you see these segments panning out, and what would you say would be the key growth drivers for each of these segments going forward?
So fortunately in Piramal Enterprises, we are in 3 broad sectors. One is in the whole financial services sector. The second is in pharmaceuticals, and the third is in healthcare analytics and data. All these 3 sectors are actually growing well for us. Besides India, we also have a presence in the US, and both India and the US are economies that are growing, and that gives us an opportunity to grow. So financial services, as I said, with the growth in the economy, particularly in the private sector, I see financial services growing even faster than what the rest of the sector is growing, and we will take advantage of that. Similarly, in pharmaceuticals, with the strength that we have both in India and globally, with the high quality talent that is available in this space, I see that this is a high growth opportunity. We are in the over-the-counter drug space in India, and with the consumer markets growing and the demand for consumer products growing, as wealth increases with the people of the country, this will also be a high growth area.
You know, EBITDA margins in the global pharma business have more than doubled over the last 5 years. Do you expect it to sustain at these levels?
At an industry level, I can see that actually globally pharmaceuticals are under some threat. At least the types of pharmaceuticals that are made in India, which are generic drugs in India, those are under threat because of the increased competition globally. Also, you find that the US is the largest market, and there the US FDA has started giving approvals for generic products more easily, and therefore there's more competition. We in that sense have actually recognized this, and hence have got our products are really branded generics, and these are complex products. Complex in the sense either they are complex to manufacture or they are complex to sell, distribute, and hence they are not subjected to the same competition.
In the US, will the niche branded generic product portfolio continue to get high margins according to you, sir?
So, the niche branded generics portfolio, there will be higher margins than what the rest of the portfolio is concerned. But as the costs for healthcare keep increasing and there's a pressure on in the US to bring down prices, I see that there will be some pressure on the margins in the long term.
Right. So, will the new acquisitions in the US increase the addressable market size for Piramal when it comes to pharmaceuticals?
So in the last 12 months, we've made a series of 2 acquisitions. One, we acquired certain products which are for acute pain in diseases like cancer. The other thing was to deal with pain again in spasticity. Both these sets of products are products which are niche products. They are, as I said, either difficult to manufacture or difficult to distribute. And in these, the margins for us will go up because this is a market which does not have as much competition as other products do.
Right. Okay, let me move now, Ajay, to your real estate segment. You're betting on real estate and financial services to create a $20 billion business by 2020. Would you say that you're on track to achieve this ambitious goal?
So we always set ambitious goals in our group, and I've found that if you set your mind to it, you can do it. And sometimes I think all the circumstances will play in your favor. So it's a matter of
philosophical note. On a realistic note.
So on a realistic note, I believe that it is possible to do.
Right, but just taking that question forward from what Aisha asked you, the real estate space is close to your heart. You have deployed funds from your personal capacity as well. What do you see in the sector that has been plagued by so many issues in the last few years? What gives you the convictions to stay put, really?
So lots of changes have taken place in the real estate space. The biggest change that's taking place now is the RERA, the new application of this. Of course, the demonetization has an impact on it. The fact that a lot of approvals in the past were given to real estate companies which were not legally done is another issue. So all these have meant that the real estate space has actually been a lot in the news for all the wrong reasons. But I believe that this is an opportunity. I always feel that it is in challenges is where organizations which are stronger will survive. And I feel that post-RERA, post-demonetization and GST is going to be the top 10 to 15% of the developers that will be further strengthened, and people who have a good brand name, who the customer can trust will survive. And that's where we will be. That's where we will be as developers. That's where we will, that's the type of other developers we as a finance company also back.
Right, and your financial services business has been doing very well over the past few years. How do you see the next 5 years shaping up for the business, and what kind of growth potential do you see here?
So coming to the growth potential in financial services, I believe that there's enough data to show that usually financial services grow about twice or 2.5 times of what the economy, the GDP growth rate is. If you assume a growth rate of 7 or 8% in India, so the average financial services business would grow about 16 to 20%. That's the average. The fact is that today the public sector has been plagued with a lot of NPAs. Almost 70% today of the lending is still done by public sector. And here, because their focus has been on resolving the NPA issues, you find that the private sector firms are doing better because that space is left for them. And hence, this is the space we are playing in, and I'm very optimistic about the future as far as the private sectors in the financial services. We started in the financial services loan book by lending to real estate, wholesale real estate, but now we have expanded our whole portfolio. So we went in real estate. Earlier we were doing more at early stage of development. Then we went into construction finance. We've gone into lease rental discounting. We've done apartment funding. Now we are also going into giving housing loans to individuals. So we are moving from a wholesale to a retail mix. In addition, we are also now got into a corporate lending book where we are giving to larger loans as well as to mid-size loans. So larger loans could be in excess of 100, 200 crores. The mid-size loans are in 100 crores, and we are also looking at a below 100 crore capacity. In addition, Piramal Enterprises has got a significant investment in the Shriram Group, which is in the retail space. So across the board, we are playing now across many such things. In addition, we today also have now got a joint venture with Bain Credit Capital in the stressed asset space, and so that's where we are in financial services.
Ajay, you've prompted me to my next question. The distressed asset tie-up that you have with Bain that you just highlighted upon. And are you together interested or looking at buying out any of the dirty dozen companies identified by the IBC?
So Bain and us are looking at definitely at the companies which are large NPA companies. We are doing our work and will are interested in this space, and because we see that this is a challenge for the system and it's also an opportunity for people like us. We both of us, besides bringing capital, also have the, let's say, the track record of turning around businesses, of sick businesses, and of giving a adequate return to our shareholders.
So which ones of the 12 have you all narrowed in on?
We keep looking across the horizon. There are, let's say that there are definitely more than 12 companies which are on the horizon.
And how soon can we expect an announcement?
So, in this distress space, what we are doing is, it's not only, we are not looking at it only like an asset reconstruction where you can park the loans. We are looking at how we can get into the company, invest both equity and debt, and how we can also turn around the management. So these are processes which take time, but I hope that we will see something in the reasonable future.
Okay, we look out for an announcement soon on that front then. Moving forward, the government's got its thrust on low-cost housing as a segment. Do you think housing finance can be that big-ticket space Piramal Enterprises can bet big on?
It is definitely going to be a big ticket segment. This is the first time I'm seeing that with all the incentives that have been given in terms of costs of interest, in terms of other advantages that affordable housing has, that the larger developers who were in the premium housing have also looked at this as a market. So we see in Piramal Enterprises a good opportunity in this space, and this is going to grow considerably.
Okay, and what kind of addressable market size do you see for the NBFC business, and how do you think your product mix and asset quality is going to shape up from here onwards?
So our focus has always been on asset quality. Let me address that first, and because that is the most important thing. It's very easy to start a book, because if you want to lend to anybody, there's always somebody who's willing to take it. But it's a quality of asset, and that I would say that our team has been relentless in it, and the quality, the amount of NPAs that we have are a fraction of a percentage that are there today, and we will continue to harp on the quality of assets. In the next 1 or 2 years, the areas that we will look into it, as I said, is that we will grow into our wholesale book for real estate, but we are also adding the retail part of our housing loan. In addition, we are doing the corporate lending book. We are focusing more on that, both large loans as well as the mid-sized loans. So this is where you will see. In the stressed asset space as well, we will see some action.
Ajay, I know for a parent, all the children are equal and you can't really choose who's your favorite child. But if you had to pick out between pharmaceuticals, realty, and financial services, which baby would you pick?
I think, as you said, as a parent, it's the best thing is to see that each one you give the best opportunity and let them flower. And then you will see the results for yourself.
Okay, let me rephrase this one. Which business of yours do you think will outperform in the current macro environment in the next 2 to 3 years?
So, in the current macro environment, in this current year, I see that the financial services sector will have the highest growth rates.
Okay, I'm glad at least in the near term you could pick out your favorite child currently. But great speaking with you, Ajay. Thank you so much for joining us today on this extremely important day at ET Now.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNow Live. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/ETNow.